It might be difficult to select the appropriate ink for your fountain pen, particularly given the wide variety of inks available for purchase nowadays. It can be especially aggravating because there are some circumstances that call for a much more specific choice of ink in order to avoid issues such as smearing or having a difficult time getting started. People will recommend that you experiment with wet or dry inks. However, what exactly does that entail? Isn't all ink wet? After all, they are in liquid form. Do not be concerned since we are here to clarify everything for you. There is a wide variety of ink available to purchase, and you can feel confident using any of these inks in your pens as long as the packaging specifies that it is fountain pen ink. On the other hand, it seems that certain fountain pens and ink work better together than others. Discovering the combination of pen and ink that works best for you is a fun component of the game. The wetness or dryness of ink is a question of personal preference just as much as it is the ideal symphony of the pen, the ink, and the paper all working together to create a beautiful writing experience. Wet ink. An ink is said to be wet if it produces writing that is exceptionally smooth and saturated, and it flows gracefully and lusciously from the pen nib. In general, the inks used for writing that are considered to be good shading inks are those that are wet and have the ability to completely cover the page in color. If you are using a flex pen, or if you have a pen that seems to have a difficult time writing, you can try filling it up with a wetter ink to aid with the flow issues. This will also work if you have a pen that seems to have a difficult time writing. Dry ink. An ink is regarded to be dry if it has a relatively restrained and light flow when it is drawn out of a pen, and if it does not deposit a significant amount of ink on the page when it is used to write. Left-handed writers may naturally lean toward a drier writing ink because they will be less likely to smear it when pushing the pen across the page. This is because left-handed writers write with their dominant hand. Here is a quick rundown of some of our favorite brands of wet and dry ink, as well as some tips for things you can do to get the most out of your experience with either type of ink. Wet Ink Noodlers is the brand that comes to mind immediately for the vast majority of people whenever the topic of wet inks is brought up. The gorgeous inks that Nathan Tardif makes are the product of a hearty dose of lubricant and pigment, which results in a flow that is wet and juicy. Diamine is another reputable manufacturer of wet inks, and its products need to be mentioned here. Diamine offers a wide variety of high-quality ink colors, ensuring that there is a suitable option for every user. The following is a list of our top 5 wet inks. Colorverse Andromeda. Spattering of ink with the Colorverse Andromeda logo. If you're looking for a beautiful new juicy ink to try, Colorverse Andromeda is an excellent option because it has the ideal amount of moisture and the kind of hue you want. A gold surprise sheen can be seen through the dark pink color of this ink. Inky painting of cactuses and flowers with a fuchsia hue using Noodler's Cactus Fruit Eel ink. Noodler's Cactus Fruit Eel Fountain Pen Ink. The inks of the Eel series produced by Noodlers are the pinnacle of wet inks. They are lubricated, so even the driest of your pens will write smoothly after using them. According to our observations, the Cactus Fruit Eel is the product in this line that is purchased the most frequently, and there is a solid reason for this. The shade of fuchsia pink is out of this world, and the flow of the fabric is unparalleled. You can have it in a bottle that's 3 ounces or a sample that's 2 ml. Fountain pen with splatters of ink and the name of the Monteverde, California teal fountain pen written in the ink. Monteverde, a significant number of Gola team members, consider California teal to be their favorite color. Ink that is lubricated and glides beautifully, just like the rest of the Monteverde range, is what you can expect from California teal. At first glance, it appears to be a subdued color. Nevertheless, when the correct circumstances are present, it can be rather surprising. It is particularly noticeable due to the gloss and the shade. There are bottles of 90 milliliters, bottles of 30 milliliters, samples of 2 milliliters, and a box of 12 cartridges available. Splatters and writing done using a Pilot Iroshizuku Yamabudo fountain pen using fuchsia fountain pen ink with a Pilot Iroshizuku Yamabudo fountain pen. It is almost difficult to believe that Pilot Iroshizuku Yamabudo is such a smooth-flowing, wet ink given the wonderful character that this ink possesses. This lovely magenta ink is quite well behaved and has a color that is very appealing. On the Golet Pens website, many of the product reviews praise Yamabudo for being a pinkish hue that even people who aren't fond of pink love, not to mention being an ink that will never let you down and keeps on flowing. Yamabudo also receives praise for being an ink that will never let you down and keeps on flowing. Find it in a bottle of 50 milliliters or in a sample of 2 milliliters. Fountain pen with splattered orange ink from a Diamine Autumn Oak model, along with a writing sample in orange ink, Diamine Autumn Oak fountain pen ink. There is no question that Diamine Autumn Oak is a wet shading ink. No matter what nib size you use, this ink will offer you good shading regardless of the situation. This is something that our assessment of the ink notes. You will never have to worry about Diamine Autumn Oak not flowing from your pen, despite the fact that the dry period tends to be longer than other brands. The color is stunning as well, a wonderful deep orange that captures the essence of autumn and the shifting foliage. You can get it in a bottle of 30 milliliters, as a sample of 2 milliliters, or as a pack of 18 cartridges. Dry ink. The Pelican 4001 inks are the recommendation that our customer care staff gives in unanimity whenever they are asked about some good options for dry ink. These inks are fantastic for those searching for dry ink that won't spread too much while writing and will have a moderate flow of ink throughout the writing process. These ink options put the concept that dry inks do not have as much vibrancy as their wetter relatives to the test. In general, people believe that dry inks are less brilliant. The LANY inks are yet another excellent choice for use while writing in dry conditions. These amusing inks are easy to write with while still allowing for a dry flowing consistency, thanks to the built-in blotting paper roll that is attached to the bottle. Here are our top 5 dry inks. Inks made from Platinum Classic. Inks for fountain pens made with iron galls, Platinum Classic. Inks made with iron gall make up the interesting Platinum Classic inks. They are impervious to water and dry to a hue that is far darker than what is initially written on the page. You may purchase both full bottles and smaller sample sizes of these breathtaking inks. Herb & Vert Empire Green Fountain Pen Ink. Herb & Vert Empire features an enticing, subdued green tone that is easy on the eyes in an ink flow that is more on the dry side, which works wonderfully on all types of paper. Because the ink flow is so controlled, there is no need to worry about turning the page of the notebook before the ink is completely dry. This color is a favorite among those who write with their left hand and have a penchant for vibrant inks. The Herb & Vert Empire ink can be purchased in a bottle that holds 30 milliliters or in a sample size of 2 milliliters. Robert Oster Black Violet. Ink for fountain pens made by Robert Oster, color black violet. Inks from Robert Oster come in a wide range of colors, have a shorter drying time compared to inks from other firms, and have names that are hilarious. The choice of black violet should be considered formal for any event. It is a dark shade with a dash of purple, as the name would suggest, which makes it suited for the workplace while yet having a touch of playfulness. You can get it in either a sample size of 2 ml or a bottle that holds 50 ml. LAMY Blue. Swab of LAMY ink from a blue fountain pen. If you have ever purchased a LAMY pen, you have had the opportunity to test out this dependable blue ink from the cartridge that came with the pen. LAMY Blue is a typical blue ink that has an extremely rapid drying time, making it an excellent option for any occasion. You'll have no trouble using this ink no matter where you are or what you're doing, whether you're at the office or out and about. You have the option of testing it out in either a 50 ml container that features an integrated blotting paper roll or a 2 ml ink sample. In addition to that, you may get it in a bundle of 5 cartridges. Pelican 4001 Brilliant Black. Pelikan Brilliant Black Fountain Pen Ink Wipe. Which list could possibly be comprehensive if the ideal black wasn't included? The Pelikan 4001 Brilliant Black is the ideal dry workhorse ink for your fountain pen. It has extremely little bleed-through and a rapid dry time, which together make it possible to take notes quite quickly. This ink requires little upkeep and works well with a wide range of different pens. The Pelikan 4001 Brilliant Black is offered in a variety of formats, including the 2 ml sample, a 6-pack of cartridges, and a 2-ounce bottle. In a previous edition of this article, we recommended the following other kinds of inks: Wet, Diamine Apple Glory Roarer and Klingner Alt Goldgren. This ink is known as Noodler's Aircourt Blue Black. Southwest Sunset by Noodler's Ink. Black and Dry, Lamy. Pelikan Scotch Brown Monteverde Scotch Brown 4001 Monteverde Royal Blue. The Blue Black Lindy Pen. There are a variety of things other than the ink itself that might influence the flow of the ink. Having a positive experience with writing can be significantly aided by paying close attention to the paper that is being used. If the conditions are correct, writing with even the most stable inks on printer paper or notebook paper can cause the ink to feather and bleed. In addition, utilizing a flex or stub nib, both of which deposit a significant amount of ink all at once, calls for an ink that is able to keep up with the amount of ink that is being deposited.